Hello guys, surprise surprise, I have another book haul for you. I have 13 books I believe, so I'm just going to get on with it, because that's what you're here for. So the first two books I have are the first two books in a new middle grade series, but I've heard that they kind of read like, not really like middle grade, they kind of read a bit more adult. So we have Arlo Finch in the Valley of Fire, which is the first book, and Arlo Finch in the Lake of the Moon, which is the second book. I really appreciate that they've put 1 and 2 at the top, because obviously that helps. These covers are stunning. And yeah, these are by John August. I'm not going to read anything from the second one because I don't want to spoil myself. But this, I believe, is... Well, basically, John August, he's actually a screenwriter. He's written for... let me see. It says John August is a screenwriter whose credits include Big Fish, Charlie's Angels, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, and Frankenweenie. So I think that's cool. But anyway, he grew up and went to... Grew up? He was in the... Oh, what is it called where you go and like learn survival skills and stuff? They call it Rangers in America. Scouts, I think it's called in England, in the UK. But yeah, the author actually grew up as a ranger in America as a kid, and he draws on those influences for this series. And basically, it's about a kid called Arlo Finch who is excited about going to be a ranger and learning wilderness skills like camping and knots. But upon arriving in the tiny town of Pine Mountain, Colorado, Arlo soon learns there's so much more. And basically his friend tells him that there's like an alternative kind of place within where they are, where there's like monsters and stuff that they have to fight. So I thought that sounded pretty interesting. And like I said, these covers are beautiful. And under the dust jacket, there's like a little imprint of the character on the front, which I presume is Arlo. And yeah, that's on the second book as well. But yeah, I just thought these sounded really good and fun, and the covers are gorgeous, so I'm excited. The next book I have, I don't read too much fantasy, but I've heard from many people who've read this that it's kind of like a very easy fantasy to read and to understand and to enjoy. And it's Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. This is the first in a series. And I've heard that it's crazy. So it's fantasy. Yeah, it's fantasy, and there's these people who are part of a band of mercenaries. And that was ages ago, and now they've grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, or a combination of the three. And then an ex-bandmate turns up at Clay's door with a plea for help, the kind of mission that only the brave, the very brave, or the very stupid would sign up for. And I've heard that this is absolutely insane. It's got like, apparently it's got like pirates, like the undead, and all that crazy shit. But I've heard it's brilliant and it's really easy to read. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. I then have a little tiny book here called An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helene Thurston, and it's translated from Swedish by Marlene Delagi, or Delagi. This is so cute. I saw this originally on Simon of Savage Reed's channel, and I thought, it's a cute size, it looks interesting. And it is interesting. I'm currently reading it. I've only got about 30 pages left. But it's basically about a woman who lives in Stockholm called Maud, and she's 88. And she just wants to live a happy, relaxed, quiet life. But people and things keep getting in her way. So the only way she knows how to deal with this is to kill them. So there'll be a review of that coming up soon, because I'm almost done with it. The next thing I got, I'm also reading, and it's The Legend of Podkin One Ear by Kieran Larwood. I first saw this on Oh, what's her name? Books Laura, something like that. And I think she works at a primary school, and she gets a lot of books and middle grade books for the students to read, and she sometimes reads them herself. And I saw her do a review of this on her channel, and I thought it sounded really good, so I thought I would pick this up. And yeah, like I said, I'm currently reading it, about 70 pages in. It's basically tells the story of these 3 sibling rabbits who live in the 5 realms, which is like it's like a very built up like underground city and world for rabbits, and then they are invaded by the enemy, who are called the Gorm, who are actually really scary. And yeah, it's about the 3 siblings, they escape, and it's about their survival. At the moment, it's brilliant. I love it. It also has really good illustrations in it by David Wyatt, and they are amazing. Like, look at this 2-page spread. And this character here is the Gorm Lord, Skaramashank, I think his name is. Let's see if I can find his name. I think it's Skaramashank. Or Scramashank, that's it, Scramashank is his name. But yeah, it's good so far. And then, spurred on by Podkin One Ear, I then looked into some more middle grade, like very young grade. It's not really middle grade. It's got children's literature. And I found Hyacinth and the Secrets Beneath by Jacob Sager Weinstein. And yeah, this is about a girl called Hyacinth, and she discovers that there are secrets and stuff in the sewers of London. So, and then she goes on this adventure with a giant pig. So, yeah, I thought that sounded interesting. I then have 2 more of these like novella books that have been published by Tor. So I have The Witches of Lichford by Paul Cornell. These are older ones, and you can kind of tell because the quality of this. I mean, I'm not bothered, but yeah. And this is about witches. It says the villagers in the sleepy hamlet of Lichford are divided. A supermarket wants to build a major branch on their border. Some welcome the employment opportunities, while some object to the modernisation of the local environment. Judith Mawson, local crank, knows the truth, that Lichford lies on the boundary between 2 worlds, and that the destruction of the border will open wide the gateways to malevolent beings beyond imagination. But if she is to have her voice heard, she's going to need the assistance of some unlikely allies. This is a 3-book series at the moment of all novellas published by Tor, and it's only 144 pages, but I thought it sounded really good. And then the other one I picked up is another Tor novella, and it's called The Last Witness, and it's by K.J. Parker. And this cover really drew me in. Like, you can see, like, she's going to kiss the man that she loves, but behind her is a knife, or a dagger. It says, I've been told I have a forgettable face. Ironic, really. I have a gift. I can browse through the library of your mind and remove individual memories. You'll never know I was there, and you'll never miss what was taken. Useful for grieving widowers, more so for ambitious politicians. But I'm holding so many memories I'm not always sure which ones are actually mine. Some of them are sensitive, all of them are private, and there are those who are willing to kill to access the secrets I'm trying to bury. I thought that sounded brilliant. Like I said, it's another short Tor novella. This one is 141 pages, so just 3 pages shorter than Witches of Lichford. I then picked up another short story collection, and it's Revenge by Yoko Ogawa. Everyone on, well, a lot of people on BookTube talk and hype up Yoko Ogawa, so I thought I would give her a try. Her? Is it her or is it him? I'm not even sure. Yeah, these are very creepy book books. Oh yeah, it says her fiction. So yeah, these are very creepy books, tales even, and they're all to do with revenge. And there is 11 of them, so there's quite a few. I then have another fantasy. When I picked up Kings of the Wild, I was kind of looking for fantasy that was supposed to be easier to read and get into, and I came across this one, which is The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. And this was, I think I saw this first on, what's her name, Kitty G? I think that's her name. I think I saw it first on her channel. The cover is awesome. And this is the first in the Black Iron Legacy. And it says, "The city of Gurdon stands eternal, a refuge from the war that rages beyond its borders. But in the ancient tunnels deep beneath its streets, a malevolent power has begun to stir. The fate of the city rests in the hands of 3 thieves. They alone stand against the coming darkness. As conspiracies unfold and secrets are revealed, their friendship will be tested to the limit. If they fail, all will be lost, and the streets of Gurdon will run with blood." So, I mean, that sounds pretty good. Again, the publisher has been very kind and put number 1, The Black Iron Legacy, at the top. Because if you don't do that, publishers, not that I don't like you, but, you know, sort it out. Right. And then I picked up The Extinction Trials by S.M. Wilson. This is annoying. I thought it was a sticker. I can't take it off. It says The Hunger Games meets Jurassic Park. I hate it when books are compared to other books. But it sounds really interesting. It's the first in a trilogy. But I looked at the blurb, and you know when a certain character's name is so stupid that it really, really annoys you, and you just don't feel like reading the book because you're like, why the fuck would you choose that name? Let me read you it. In Storm Chaser, really, and Lincoln's ruined world, the only way to survive is to risk everything. To face a contest more dangerous than anyone can imagine, and they will do anything to win. But in a land full of monsters, human and reptilian, they can't afford to trust anyone, perhaps not even each other. So, I will read this book because it sounds interesting, but I'm not going to call her Storm Chaser. When I'm reading it, I'm going to call her Storm, because to call her Storm Chaser is really going to piss me off. But anyway, yeah, it's written in alternative chapters, so there's Storm's chapter and Lincoln's chapter, and I think it just goes back and forth. Yeah, but I thought it sounded good, and it's part of a trilogy, and the whole trilogy is complete now. So if I enjoy this, I will pick up the others. I've been wanting to pick this up for a while, to be honest. So yeah. Then I picked up, so I watched, Owlcrate has a booktube channel, but it's the woman